Good morning, good morning, good morning again, folks. Told you I was preloading. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels, and we're going back to that horrible world known as the JRC. But before we do, the usual disclaimers, and we're just going to jump right to them. Excuse me. Also, excuse me from clearing my throat, folks. Allergies have been hell. Pure hell. In the description box, folks, you're going to find a link to the article that the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read. It is written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics, wherein they interviewed and surveyed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the Judge Rotenberg's Educational Center's quote-unquote behavioral modification program. JRC doesn't want you to read this article so much they have threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic has refused, so you know the drill. Please read that article and share on all your social media. We also have linked in there the NeuroClastic's public statement regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding, folks, in case the JRC actually has the balls to see through with their threat. We also have the pertinent links to the Agape boarding school situation. Agape boarding school is a Christian-themed boarding school based out of Stockton, Missouri that has and pending over 21 allegations, claims, and civil lawsuits leveled against it, all which have been substantiated with hard evidence by the Missouri Department of Social Services that include sodomy, rape, sexual assault, child abuse, psychological and emotional abuse, child trafficking, starvation, and we're just touching the surface. We have had one staff member arrested by the FBI, another a doctor who still lives on the premises with access to the boys up on multiple charges of rape, sodomy, and sexual assault against the boys there, again substantiated with hard evidence by the Department of Social Services. We have Eric Schmidt, who kicked the can down the road, and even in his last days in office as our Attorney General, can't be asked to get those boys the hell out of there. And we got a governor on a power trip. Please get me out of here. So please read all those articles, share on your social media. Don't forget to share and sign the change.org Shut Agape Boarding School Down petition. We got the pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign as well, including Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject. Jennifer Masumba's behavioral sheet over shockable offenses, a clip, a part of the 7-hour ordeal undergone by Andre McCollums in 2002, where for the sin of refusing to remove his coat, he was slammed on a 4-point board, face down with a helmet on, and shocked over 31 times. We also have the templates and the ever-present self-explanatory change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. When we discuss the JRC, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of peoples with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please use your headphones. This channel is marked not for children for a reason. We use profanity and we talk about dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger, parental supervision is advised. It is 6:41 a.m. in the morning, folks. I am beyond exhausted. I don't know if there's a word for the level of exhausted that I am. So if I stumble over my words, folks, apologies in advance. Many good vibes would be appreciated. All right. So where we left off just a second ago. Needless to say, when such changes are made, the parents are ecstatic. Okay, I'll give you that, Matthew Israel. I'll go ahead and I'll give you that. When the behaviors stop, people more often than not are not going to want to look a gift horse in the mouth. But in this particular case and with ABA, you really should. Is your comfort, is your happiness that, oh my God, now I have a normal child, even when you still don't. You actually don't. Is that more important than your child's psychological and physical well-being? Is it worth us not having any type of sense of autonomy over our own bodies or our own minds for you to feel better about yourselves? Yes, it is that dire. And yes, you do need to think about it. all you see is the change. You don't see the damage that change does. More often than not, people don't want to think twice when they get what they want out of someone. But you really should. Because guess what? When you bury problems, force us to fake it, eventually it's going to come to bust. The chickens will come home to roost. And it usually does so in one of two very psychologically damaging and physically damaging ways. Either through meltdown, which is when that self-injurious behavior and aggression comes out, or complete and utter autistic shutdown. And that is a shutdown of psychological, intellectual, emotional, and physical. Everything. In the medical model, it's called regression. We can actually even revert to a complete non-verbal state, depending on how bad the damage is. Now I ask you, is your momentary happiness that, oh my God, I got a normal child, and the lies that you tell yourselves, is that worth it? Is it worth it that I was 16 fucking years old and I was in complete and utter psychological, physical shutdown to the point that I had to re-potty train myself? Is it worth it? The answer is no, because once that hits, your child is way worse off than what they were previously before they started ABA. Many parents get confused by this because they are wondering, well, what happened? They were doing so good. Listen to me. This is what happened. Because you were more interested in results than you were in the psychological and physical well-being of your child. This is the cost that you are forcing us to pay. And I need you to look at the reality, please. I'm not trying to virtue signal to you. I don't like it when it's done to me. I'm wanting you to look at reality with me. Okay? This is the cost for forcing a treatment on an individual that is not going to work, because you are not dealing with a behavioral disorder, you're dealing with a neurological disorder. And no amount of faking it, there is no fake it till you make it with autism. There is no fake it till you make it. There is no, we're not a computer program. You can't just program shit into us and all of a sudden now that's who we are. That's not how any of this works. I need you to see the reality. Your kid is always going to be autistic or neurologically disabled. They're always going to have ADHD, dyslexia, dyscalculia, and all the other neurodiverse disorders and diagnoses. That's never going to change. What I need you to do is take a look at these treatments with a logical mind. Take your emotions out of it for 5 minutes and look at it critically as though you were examining someone else from outside a window. Is it worth it? No. And the fact of the matter is, the problem behaviors, this lie that ABA sells you, is a lie. Exactly that. The problem behaviors are not eliminated. They are just internalized until it comes to bust. And then all of those behaviors come out, and they are going to be 1,000 times worse than they ever were before, because now we've got trauma on top of it. Okay? Stop letting ABA, stop letting the Judge Rotenberg Center and Autism Speaks and all these others, stop letting them lie to you. Stop buying the lie because you temporarily get what you want. It's not a solution. Moving on. New and better behaviors have been taught. Their children no longer have to take psychotropic medicines that have horrible side effects, can sedate them into a state of continual drowsiness or sleep, and can shorten their lives. Here we go with the bullshit. Matthew Israel would like you to believe that everything with pharmacology is like it was in the 70s and that nothing is advanced and all they're going to do is turn your kid into a non-feeling catatonic robot. It's a lie. It is an absolute lie. And in fact, that anybody who believes this in 2022 blows my mind completely. Pharmacology can be sinister as fuck. I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass and tell you it's potpourri. Okay? That's true. But pharmacology has evolved by leaps and bounds before Matthew Israel first founded this lie. Okay? The perfect treatment involves, when necessary, a good marriage between well-researched, hear me, well-researched, not just some doctor who's going to throw pills at your kid and seeing which one who sticks. I've had that guy. He's an asshole. But research into the type of drugs that would act as a supplement, not a treatment in and of itself, but as a supplement to a nice case of therapy along with other things such as speech therapy and other person-centered planning tools and techniques that are used. When you marry that together and you center it around the individual instead of the diagnosis, it's wonderful what can happen, right? Granted, it's a small-ass apartment, don't get me wrong. But look at all I have been able to do. You know? Because by the time I got out of high school, individuals decided to cater my treatment around me and my psychological and emotional well-being and physical autonomy, as opposed to forcing me to try and be something that I'm not anymore. Crazy, right? The improvements that can happen, the life-changing improvements that can happen when you stop forcing a square peg into a round hole. And moving on. The children now have a chance for a better future. Let me explain to you a little something about fucking trauma and a better future. Do you have any idea how difficult that is? How many years in therapy many autistics and other neurodiverse have to go through to undo all the damage that shit like ABA or just in general forcing ourselves to be normal has done to us? That's not a better future. If we go into shutdown, folks, we are very fucking lucky and rare indeed if we're ever actually able to come out of it. When you're in shutdown, there is no secondary college. There is no secondary education. When you are in shutdown, good luck trying to maintain a fucking job. You are in shutdown. You are lucky if you are going to be able to somehow keep a roof over your heads, especially if it happens when you're an adult. Sound like a bright future to you? No, it doesn't. But Matthew Israel and others who use this bullshit don't live in reality. They want to sell you the fantasy that we can fix your child. There is no fixing us. There's only making things manageable. Okay? We've got to start dealing in reality here and stop willfully believing the lies that these people sell us so that they can get us or our insurance's money at the cost of our psychological, emotional, and physical well-being. Okay? The children see that they are now able to enjoy the things they were never able to enjoy previously. That's a lie. But we can sell it. When we become so good at masking, we can fool just about fucking anyone that we are happy and we're enjoying life. We're inside. We are a psychological fucking mess. And why do we do that? Because that's what this type of medical treatment teaches us to do. Grin and bear it. Put on a happy face. Mimic those around us who act happy. We're presenting to you what you want to see, and more often than not, the adults will not read deeper into it when they should. And then, top this off for the parents here. They're acting happy. They're doing the social things you wanted them to do that actually drives us batshit insane, and it's exhausting as fuck. And then all of a sudden, there's a regression. Their child shuts down. From them, the world, everyone. They go from doing all of those things, they go from 60 to 0 in less than 2 seconds. Imagine how devastated these parents are when that happens. And it does, folks. It happens every fucking time. And they're so confused, right? Because their kid was getting better, right? According to them. We got to start looking deeper, folks. We got to start holding these doctors fucking accountable for the trauma that they have induced on generation after fucking generation after fucking generation on ADHD kids and kids with autism in motherfucking particular. Those two groups especially. ADHDers. I have seen some of the most ableist, hateful bullshit put out when it comes to kids with ADHD that I've seen, bar none. Bar fucking none. When I did a search about a year ago into ADHD, do you know how many articles I came across that basically painted them as juvenile delinquents? You know how many of them demonize them and say, is your ADHD sibling abusing you? Article after article after fucking article. Bam, 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 bam. Basically painting ADHDers as completely batshit insane juvenile delinquents. Yeah. Now let's talk about how people like me are depicted. Oh, we're the unfeeling, sociopathic, batshit insane younger cousin, older cousin to ADHD. They paint us as the worst fucking monsters to ever see planet Earth. And the only way that you can save us is to put us through ABA. It's bullshit and it's bad for you, folks. We need to start realizing that when we see propaganda, especially for the medical model, they use it as a means to make millions, billions of dollars off our back every year, particularly during April. They do it to make money off the ADHDers, billions of dollars into the pharmacies every single fucking year. Granted, there is medication that helps ADHD. Adderall works. But a lot of these more unscrupulous doctors will keep throwing various different pills and making parents pay for them or their insurance before they even go to Adderall because of money, right? Yeah. The fact of the matter is, folks, when we're forced through bullshit like this, there is no hope for the future. We just want to make it through the goddamn day. We just try and force and push down just to get through the motherfucking day. You think we're thinking about a bright future? You really think we're actually enjoying these things that cause us such issues? Because if you believe that, I got a river in Egypt I could sell you. Okay? Those that cannot speak are clearly happier based on their smiles and their new enthusiasm for education and social interaction. Lie. And I love these people who think that they can speak for the non-verbals. Karen, sit the fuck down. See, like us, non-verbals also learn how to mask. And they will show you the picture that you want to see. But they have shutdowns too, folks. They can only pretend to be normal to a certain extent. Oh, but they smile and they have new enthusiasm and they're more interested in their education. Maybe because they don't want to be tortured, Karen. Maybe because we will do whatever we fucking have to do to get you off of our fucking backs for 5 goddamn minutes. Nobody ever thinks about that. You all lie. You use fake smiles. You act like you're enthusiastic and interested in something that you're not actually interested in for social niceties. Has it completely gone past your mind that maybe we possibly could be doing the same? But you're not capable of that. That's that internal ableism, folks. That's that internal ableism. You think we can't do the same? Every single autistic you come across today, ADHD or any of us neurodiverse, they are doing it right as you're looking at them. Okay? Let me base you into some reality here. Quit just looking at the surface. If you want a whole picture of how ABA and places like this that take it to insane batshit extremes really makes us feel, you gotta dig past the surface. Because we become experts at faking it. Especially when the alternative to them getting what they want is fucking throwing you on a 4-point board and torturing you within an inch of your life, starving you, sleep depriving you. Yeah, we're going to give you what you want so you leave us the fuck alone. That's kind of how torture works. This is how we get false confessions from the Middle Ages. Y'all really think there was a bunch of witches running around cursing cows? Come on now. Let's close out on that. We don't get very many views on this channel, especially on this subject. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time this morning. As always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.